Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. We are back. Another live show. It's a new week. Today's 4th of August, so literally only a month to go until the transfer window closes. So what other business are we going to do? Are we finally going to get this man on screen, Eberechi Eze? We'll be talking about him. We've been linked to a defender from France. His name is Jeremy Jacquet. Are we going to get him as well? Are we going to get another defender? Does that mean Kiwior is going? Does that mean Zinchenko is going? We'll be talking about that. An update on Rodrygo as well, and then Martinelli, Trossard, what happens to their future? Are they still going to be Arsenal players by the time we kick off the season, or are they going to be leaving? And then at the end, a little update on the players that we've already signed. That's Gyokeres, Madueke, and Zubimendi. So without wasting any time, a lot to talk about. A lot has happened over the weekend, so let's catch up with everything that happened over the weekend since Friday night up to now. And let's start with Eberechi Eze. What's the latest on him? So according to reports on Eberechi Eze from Ben Jacobs, he says that my expectation is that Arsenal will sign just a 10, with Eberechi Eze being a top target and less likely to sign a specialist left winger. It feels that the last attack-minded reinforcement for Arsenal will be a 10. So that is what I've always expected. Ever since we signed Madueke, and then we've been linked to Eze. I've not really expected us to be also getting a left winger. Now, at the beginning of the transfer window, I wanted us to get a striker and a left winger as the two priorities, and then an extra attacker as the third option. So either an Eze or Rodgers, or someone to back up Saka. That was my plan. But obviously, since we signed Madueke, and we've been told that he's going to also play as a left winger, I don't think we're also going to sign a left wing unless something drastically changes and we end up selling one of the players that we've been, told we might sell, Martinelli or Trossard, and then we end up getting a left winger. That could be possible, but I'm not expecting us to splash money on a left winger. I'm not expecting us to go and pay 100 million for Rodrygo to get a left winger. No, maybe you might get a cheaper one at the end of the transfer window. Maybe you might get one on loan at the end of the transfer window. Maybe, but as of now, our focus is on Eberechi Eze. That is the player that we are trying to get. That is the player that wants to join Arsenal. That is the player Arsenal is pushing for. There's literally been no other players that we've been talking about. So just like the Gyokeres and Sesko situation, it was never going to be another striker because those are the ones that we've really been told about. Although we were told Watkins is a backup, we ended up getting Gyokeres. And that is the same situation with Eze as well. Eze is the player that we've been told about this whole time. There's no other player we've been linked to at all. No mention of any other attacking midfielder that you may like from any other journalist. It's only Eberechi Eze. So that makes me believe that he is the only player that you're going to go to. I mean, Xavi Simons was mentioned, but it was literally for a day, and we already know he's going to go to Chelsea. So Eberechi Eze is the only player that we're linked to right now. It's either we get him or, I don't think there's a plan B to Eze. So that will be interesting. If we don't actually end up getting Eze, is there a plan B? Because I don't think there's any other player that should be linked to in that position. And that is how we've been operating this transfer window. Let me know if you can hear me by the way in the chat. The way we've been operating this transfer window, the players that we've been going for, we haven't really been linked to any other players. If it was Mosquera, it was Mosquera. We didn't really get linked to any other centre backs at all. If it was Martín Zubimendi, it was Martín Zubimendi. We didn't really end up being linked to any other midfielder. So at the moment, it's looking like it's Eberechi Eze and Eberechi Eze only. Doesn't look like we're going to be going for any other midfielders. And as Ben Jacobs confirmed, we're only really going to go for a 10. So if we're not going to sign a left wing at all, as I'm expecting, then I'm not going to sell Martinelli and Trossard at all. I already want to keep them at Arsenal. But I've always told you guys, there's a slight chance if you're telling me we need that money to sign someone who's going to improve our team further, then maybe. But if you're not going to sign a left winger, then you have to keep Trossard and Martinelli. It doesn't make sense if you sell any of them and then don't get a replacement at left wing. That just means you're a player short. And I don't want us to be a player short again next season in any position at all. So that's the list on Ben on Eze from Ben Jacobs. There's also this from Steve K, who says Arsenal prepare 60 million euro bid as a bid as Palace target big name replacement. So let me read for you what he wrote on the article. So that is what he says. We are preparing a 60 million euro, or Arsenal prepare 60 million as a bid as Palace target big name replacement. So this is what has been written on the article. A formal proposal is expected from the Gunners early next week, which is this week, with the total value of their package expected to come to 52 million pounds, so 60 million euros. This would consist of an upfront payment of 34.5 million euros, which is 30 million pounds, followed by a second installment of 22 million pounds to be paid over the next 2 years. We understand that Arsenal have already discussed an upfront fee of 30 million pounds with Oliver Glasner's side. So what Steve K is saying is that Arsenal are offering Crystal Palace 52 million total package. At the moment, we want to give them 30 million right now, and then the other 22 million in installments, in 2 installments. So 11 million in the next couple of years, divided in 2 years. So that is what Steve K says in terms of that bid. He also goes on to say that, let's see, Palace have previously indicated that they wanted 68 million pounds for Eze, whose release clause expired last month, at the end of last month. It was never Arsenal's intention to match that figure. So his original release clause was 68 million. I'm assuming Crystal Palace would have wanted something around that. So us offering them 52 million, I would be very surprised if Crystal Palace has accepted 52 million. Very, very surprised. For a player whose release clause was 68 million, and even during this preseason so far, he's been absolutely fantastic. I think it's a couple of goals and a couple of assists so far in this transfer window for Eberechi Eze. So he's not going down as a player. Edgewise is going up, but right now is his prime. But it's not like going down as a player. So I don't think you're going to get Eze for 52 million. Now, it's just an opening bid. The way we've been operating this transfer window, we haven't really been making bids, It was, discussions with the Gyokeres, and then one offer, we get him. For Mosquera, we made one bid, it was rejected, and then we came back the second bid, we finished everything. Zubimendi, there was never like 45 million first, and then 50 million, and then 55 million. No, it was one bid, job done. So the way Andrea Berta has been operating this transfer window, he prefers to discuss with the teams, discuss with the players, and then decide how much, figure out how much that team wants. And then he comes back to us and they discuss how much they're going to offer. And then, in terms of the bids and all that, that is under the radar. And then boom, we just hear Arsenal have signed a particular player for 55 million, the way we did with Zubimendi, the way we did with Nørgaard. There was no bid that was ever rejected by Brentford. It was just 12 million, job done. So maybe with Eze as well, it's going to be around the same, or maybe it's going to be different. Maybe with Eze, we're actually going to go and try to bid for him first, 52 million, and then if Crystal Palace reject it, then you're going to go back with a different offer. So his release clause expired. As Sammy Mockbell reported the other day, he broke the news the other day. People were expecting the release clause to end at the end of the transfer window, but Sammy Mockbell came out with that news and said that his release clause is actually already over. So you're going to have to negotiate with Crystal Palace, which Arsenal wanted to do anyway. Arsenal were never going to pay that release clause. Now, something that has changed right now at the moment is that Tottenham, Maddison is now injured at Tottenham. I think he's going to be out for the whole season. He was injured against Newcastle when they played yesterday. And their man shot, they didn't get Gibbs White, and Son has now left Tottenham. So they might want to come back for Eze in that situation. Now, again, these days, I'm never too worried about other teams coming in for players. Ever since we signed Declan Rice ahead of Man City, I've never really been worried. Arsenal usually do a lot of background work. So when you see Arsenal, making a bid for Mosquera and then being relaxed and saying, we're going to come back for you after a month. We know you're going to join Arsenal. You're not going to go to any other team. You're not going to sign a new contract. There's already a lot of background work that has been done there. So with players like Gyokeres and players like Mosquera, they've already done background work. So maybe it's the same situation with Eze. Maybe you already know that he wants to join Arsenal. He doesn't want to go to any other team. They've already been, word of mouth these days doesn't really mean anything. We've seen players like Gyokeres, you can be promised to leave the team next season and then the president changes the mind. It could be the same. The player can tell you, okay, I'm going to join you, but he could easily change his mind. But if Arsenal have already gotten the word from Eze that I'm waiting for you guys, I'm going to join you guys. I'm not going to go to a Tottenham. I'm not going to go into a Liverpool. I'm not going to sign a new contract with Crystal Palace. And Andrea Berta maybe tells him, listen, you're going to come back for you. Let's try and gather this money. Let's put this money together. Let's see how much you can offer for you. But you're going to come back for you before the season starts. And then Eze is like, okay, no problem. And then maybe you tell them, keep fit, stay fit the rest of the preseason, play the preseason games, and then you're going to come back for you. that is a possibility. Maybe that is what Andrea Berta has done with Eberechi Eze, and they know that he's not going to go to any other team, even if Tottenham come in for him, especially considering he's a former Arsenal player. Maybe that is the case. So in the article, Stephen K also goes on to say that while Mikel Arteta is open to Trossard remaining at the club, using him as bait to secure Eze could be an attractive proposition for the Gunners. This would likely be conducted as a separate deal for accounting purposes. Palace's major target to replace, however, is Lucas Paqueta. So apparently they want Lucas Paqueta from West Ham. The Brazilian international has been cleared of spot-fixing allegations that had been dogging him in recent months and might have resulted in a lifetime ban had he been found guilty. Against his backdrop, the 27-year-old, whose contract expires in 2 years, had a tricky campaign. Glasner has already indicated to Crystal Palace chairman Parish that he wants to sign Paqueta should Eze depart London. So let's see how that one goes. The former Lyon Stars estimated 63 million euros value, I guess. So they'll need to pay a lot of money for Paqueta. So I'm sure they'd want a lot of money for Eberechi Eze. They're not going to just give out Eberechi Eze for cheap. We're going to have to negotiate. But again, the way Andrea Berta has been doing his business this transfer window, I'm not worried. If we want Eze, we are going to get Eze. And if he wants him for a certain price, not too high, you are going to get him for that certain price that is not too high. I mean, we've been able to get players like Nørgaard and players like Gyokeres for, less, or what Andrea Berta wanted, not really what the other team wanted. So let's see how that one develops. But let's hope we can get him. We now have 2 weeks until the Premier League starts. 13 days actually for us. It's 13 days. It's 11 days until the Premier League actually starts. But for us, it's 13 days until we play Man United. We are playing on Wednesday, and then we're also playing this weekend against 2 La Liga teams, and then 1 more week to prepare, and then the Premier League season starts. So there's not too much time there. We'll talk about how the rest of the players doing, including Madueke. When is he going to get started? Let's see. Now, we've been linked to another player, this time a defender from France. What's the latest on him? I've not talked about him yet on this channel yet. So this is what Fabrizio reported yesterday. Understand Arsenal have made initial contact to show interest in French 19-year-old centre-back Jeremy Jacquet. Arsenal like Jacquet, who recently signed a new deal at Rennes until June 2029. I'm saying all of this in the French, the correct French pronunciation. I mean, you can say Rennes if you want. You can say Jacquet if you want. It's Jeremy Jacquet and Rennes until June 2029. He's on the list as option in case of his exits this month, or eventually for 2026. So we have seen Arsenal doing this before, going for a young defender from France before. That time it was Saliba, and we've seen how good Saliba turned out to be. We've done that recently with a Spanish defender in Mosquera. We obviously have to wait and see how Mosquera turns out to be. I mean, he's not as young as what Saliba was or what Jacquet is right now, but 20-year-old, 21-year-old defender that might come to be good very, very in the next couple of years. It could be a possibility. So we've seen Arsenal doing that kind of deal before. How good is he? I can't lie to you. I've not really done any study on him yet. But he's a player that Fabrizio has confirmed that we are looking at. We've made an initial contract to show interest in the defender. Now, this kind of deal, because we've already signed Mosquera, I don't know. Are we trying to get 2 backups to, be backups for both Gabriel and Saliba? Are we expecting Kiwior to leave this season or January or by the end of next season? Or are we actually already planning for Saliba's departure in the next 1 year or 2 years? Because signing 2 young defenders, that kind of indicates something. Someone has to be leaving. You can't have like a total of 10 defenders. Or maybe just feel like we don't have enough defenders, and with all the injuries, we need to keep these players. But again, players are not going to stay here forever. You never know. I know he's a centre-back, but remember, a player like Ben White has now been at Arsenal. This will be his 5th season, right, since 2021. You never know how long will Ben White be here for. We already know Zinchenko is about to leave. Kiwior, I don't expect him to be here for the next 1 year, 2 years. He might end up leaving, if not this season, probably next season. We don't know the situation with Saliba. I'm hoping he signs a new contract, but these players are not going to be here forever. So probably we need to plan for the future as well and need to get players here as soon as possible. Now, Fabrizio also went on to say, understand Arsenal already made an approach for Jeremy Jacquet as new defender in case of exit for Zinchenko or Kiwior. So Fabrizio says this is not related to Saliba. He says this is in case Kiwior or Zinchenko leave. Rennes considered the defender not for sale this summer after extending his contract in May. Arsenal remain keen on Jacquet also eventually for 2026. Like again, just like Saliba, I mean, we signed Saliba, never really came to Arsenal immediately. He went on 3 loan spells. He went back to his team first, and then he went and played for the likes of Nice after that as well. So never really came back. All of the 3 teams, Saint-Etienne, Nice, and Marseille. I think those are the 3 teams Saliba played for. So he went and played for all those 3 teams in 3 different seasons. So it could be the same with Jeremy Jacquet here. We could end up signing this transfer window and then sending him back on loan for 2 years or something over in France. Or we can decide not to sign him right now from Rennes, wait for him to develop for another year, and then sign him next year when he's at when he's like 20 years of age next year, when he's developed for a further year. Maybe it'll be more expensive at that point. Maybe it'll be more worth it. I don't know, depending on how Arsenal view it. So he's a player that will be linked to now. This player from Rennes, a defender. So Fabrizio says it's if Zinchenko or Kiwior are going to leave. So we're also going to go and talk about Zinchenko and Kiwior in this video as well. So Sami Mokbel has also had his say on this one. He says that Arsenal hold interest in Rennes defender Jeremy Jacquet. Open mind over whether to move this window, but interest will come regardless, continue regardless. So in the article, this is what he's had to say. The France under-21 international has been watched extensively by the Gunners and is positioned highly in the club's list of potential defensive reinforcements. Sources have told BBC Sport not to rule out a swoop for the 20-year-old during this transfer window. If a deal for Jacquet does not transpire ahead of the current deadline, Arsenal will continue to monitor the player's progress ahead of a possible future move. Jacquet has played extensively for France junior sides and is tipped to become a future full international. The defender extended his contract with Rennes in May, with his existing deal due to expire in 2029. Whether Arsenal formalize their interest in Jacquet may depend on whether the Gunners offload one of their existing defenders. So he echoes what Fabrizio said in terms of letting defenders go. Alexander Zinchenko can leave the Emirates should a suitable offer arrive this summer, and there's some interest in Jakub Kiwior. For me, Jakub Kiwior is not for sale, man. I'll keep on saying that. He's not for sale. We're not in a position to sell any defenders anyway, with Calafiori being injured and Gabriel being injured as well. If the Premier League was starting tomorrow, both Gabriel and Calafiori are not ready. Arsenal have already added 6 new players. Yeah, we know about that. So let's see if you're going to add a 7th and an 8th player in this transfer window. So let's see. In terms of forward players, obviously we've not signed very, very good top players in terms of forward since Ateta came. Even before that, Aubameyang was great, but we had gone on a bit of a drought in terms of signing good forward players. You know, I remember when we were signing players like Ozil and Sanchez and Rosicki and players like this, very, very good forward players, you know, left wingers and right wingers. But over the last like 10 years, we haven't really signed too many top wingers or top forward players. You can mention maybe 3 or 4. That is it. So that is a problem up front. But defensively, especially under Arteta recently, I mean, defensively under Wenger, we had a lot of very good defenders, but there was some terrible defenders as well. If you start mentioning Scolacci and Sylvester, there's been a few bad ones under Arteta as well. I mean, I remember Lichtstein was it under Wenger, Emery, one of them. Lichtstein was terrible, already old and all that. But over the last 5 years, what you've done really well is sign very, very good defenders. Saliba under Emery came to Arsenal. We developed him for 3 years in France. Very good defender right now. Gabriel has been a great signing. Ben White has been a great signing. Timber has been a great signing. Zinchenko changed the way we played that 2023 season. Kiwior for me has been a great signing. So defensively, we've been great. So let's hope if you sign Jacquet as well, he turns out to be a great defender. Let's hope that is the case. Now, let's talk about Kiwior. Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? What's the latest on him? Now, according to Fabrizio, Arsenal rejected an offer from Portugal for Jakub Kiwior in July, with Mikel Arteta preferring to keep the defender. Thank goodness, because it's not for sale. Even if Gabriel and Calafiori are fit, Kiwior is a must keep. He's a defender who's, always fit. He's a defender who can play 3 different positions in that backline. Or he has played 3 different positions in that backline in 3 different seasons. The first time he competed with Man City for the title, I remember Holding came in for Saliba and he was injured, but Holding didn't perform, and we brought in Kiwior to play next to Gabriel. And then the previous season, Zinchenko and Tomiyasu were both injured. What did we do? Timber was injured as well. What did we do? We played Kiwior as a left back. And then last season, we played Kiwior as a backup to Gabriel. 3 different positions, 3 different seasons. And I think it's been okay. I guess in an Arsenal shirt, I'd give Kiwior a solid 7 out of 10 as well. I think he joined the same transfer window as Trossard. Both of them are 7 out of 10 for me up to now. So for me, it's a must keep. If you're even considering selling him, it's 50 million plus. The way everyone has been selling their players right now, or this transfer window, we cannot be selling this player for anything less than 50 million. Will anyone pay that? Let's wait and see, but it's not for sale anyway for me. I'm not going to be trying to sell Kiwior at the moment. It's a must keep. Very, very dependable defender. And on top of that, the injuries that we have, come on. Gabriel and Kiwior are both out. I don't think we can afford to start selling Kiwior at the moment. So keep him for sure. Keep him for sure. I'm imagining if you sell Kiwior right now, what do you do defensively? You'd have to play Saliba and Mosquera at the back, and then who's going to be the backup? Now, good thing is that Arteta said Timber, Gabriel, and Kiwior are going to be fit for the Man United game. He did say that, so let's hope that is the case so that we have all our options. But still, Kiwior is a must keep. Now, let's go to this next one on Rodrygo. Now, according to ESPN Brazil, Rodrygo has several intermediaries working on a Real Madrid exit, with the player favoring a Premier League move. However, Rodrygo's wage demands were very high for Arsenal, and a move to the Gunners no longer seems so likely. I don't expect Rodrygo to join Arsenal. I'll keep on repeating that. If he joins us, I'll be very surprised, and I'll be very over the moon, man. If we ended up sending a player like Rodrygo out of nowhere and we pay that money and those kind of wages, I'd be over the moon. But there's so much that has to go away for us to get Rodrygo. There's literally like 10 different things that have to go away for us to get Rodrygo. One, he has to decide he wants to leave Real Madrid, like 100% decide he wants to leave and not say, no, I'm not sure, I might want to stay. Because right now, Rodrygo has not 100% said he wants to leave Real Madrid. That is one. Number 2, Real Madrid have to want to sell him. Number 3, Arsenal have to, decide whether we can pay his wages, like 300,000 plus, making the highest paid player at Arsenal. I don't think that is going to happen. 4, Arsenal might need to sell players now to get Rodrygo. If you're getting Rodrygo, then you probably even have to sell both Martinelli and Trossard to get Rodrygo, because you're also trying to get Eze. That is another thing. Getting Rodrygo might actually mean we don't get Eze as well. Rodrygo might not want to join Arsenal. He might want to go to a Man City, to a PSG, to a Bayern Munich. So there's a lot of different reasons why this deal is not expected to happen. It's not like the Gyokeres one where we know, add-ons is a problem, but Gyokeres wants to join Arsenal. Gyokeres only wants to play for Arsenal. Gyokeres already rejected every other team. Gyokeres is waiting for Arsenal. His agent has given up his own money to join Arsenal. It's not the same situation with Rodrygo. We'd have to work really hard to get Rodrygo, and, that is the kind of deal that would happen on the deadline day. It's not the kind of deal that you can get it done like before playing Man United or playing Liverpool at the end of the month. So I don't expect Rodrygo to join Arsenal, but let's see what happens. I'm actually, at the moment, I'm 60% is going to stay at Real Madrid up until at least January at the end of the season. But let's see. But ESPN Brazil says the Gunners are no longer, a move to the Gunners no longer seems likely. So let's see if you can pull one out of the bag out of nowhere. But personally, I don't expect it. Now, it might happen, but it will mean selling these players. Now, Martinelli. Arsenal have told suitors, including Al Nassr, that Gabriel Martinelli is not for sale. That alone, that shows you that Rodrygo is not going to join Arsenal. If Martinelli is not for sale, Rodrygo is not going to join us. So that's the only player that we could get like 60, 70 million for, and it's not going to happen. Again, I've always expected Martinelli to remain at Arsenal. I don't expect him to be sold. I know he's not been, I think in preseason, he's been one of the most disappointing players. I'd actually put him as number 1 in terms of the most disappointing player so far in preseason. So it hasn't been a great preseason for him. We've played 3 games. Odegaard was good in a couple of them. Noni was good in a couple of them. Even Trossard was good in at least one of them. Even Havertz got 2 assists in one of them. Like, everyone had at least a good game somewhere, but I don't think Martinelli had like a good game in any of those 3. So that is a concern. If the Premier League starts tomorrow, Martinelli doesn't start for us, but I expect him to stay here at us. So that's why I said last week, we need players like Martinelli to improve, because they're still going to be here next season. Him, Havertz, and all those guys, they need to keep on improving, because you're going to need them next season. Gyokeres is not going to play 5,000 minutes next season. If we sign him, is not going to play 5,000 minutes next season. Even Madueke, if he starts playing on the left wing, is not going to play 5,000 minutes next season. Martinelli is going to be needed in a few of those games. So I'm hoping we can see Martinelli at least, doesn't even have to be 100%, just improve on something. At the moment, everything is a bit low. The confidence in front of goal is low. The numbers are low. The confidence taking on players is low. All that is very low. So let's hope that he improves, because he's going to stay at Arsenal. We've already told other teams that Martinelli is going to stay at Arsenal. That is according to Ben Jacobs. What about Leandro Trossard? Now, Steve K is back again. He says Brentford have made contact with Arsenal attacker Leandro Trossard. So last week we were told that 2 Premier League teams want Trossard, but we were never really told which teams. Now we are now hearing that Brentford want Trossard, and also Crystal Palace was mentioned as well in terms of us getting Eze and Trossard going there. And I think one of the articles I've just read here, I think it was from Steve K, saying that Trossard might be an option or could be used for with a bias to get Eze from Crystal Palace. So maybe those are the 2 teams that really want Trossard. Will he go? Will he stay? Now, for Martinelli, I think it's 95% chance he's going to stay at Arsenal. For Trossard, I'm not sure, man. I think it's like 70 maybe. There's a chance he's going to stay at Arsenal, 70% chance, 30% chance he's going to leave. I don't know, man. If you're not signing a wing again, I've seen people's comments saying, if you want Martinelli to stay, you're crazy. If you want Trossard to stay, you're crazy. We need to keep on improving. But the thing is, we're not going to sign anyone. So if you're not going to sign anyone, you're not going to sell the players. It doesn't make sense to let go of Trossard and then you don't sign anyone in that position. Trossard, in terms of finishing over the last 2 years, has been better than Martinelli. So I know if he stays, he lives on a free next season. But I'm happy to risk it, to be honest. I'm very happy to risk it. I'm happy for him to stay next and off the bench, to be honest, because he's clutch sometimes. Steve K says the 30-year-old Belgium international who has been a valuable squad player for Arsenal and Arteta is now being seriously considered by Brentford as the ideal replacement for Visa. Really? They want to replace Visa with Trossard? This is an out-and-out striker. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest, unless they have another striker to play up front. I know they have someone called Thiago there and someone else called Shadow something. But Trossard as replacement for Visa, I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that is their problem, not our problem. Let's see. Sources close to the situation have told us Brentford are willing to offer Trossard a 3-year deal. That is also very important for a 30-year-old player. They always look at which teams are going to give him more years and more money. Right now, he's only on 90,000 per week at Arsenal. That is quite low. He's one of our lowest paid players at Arsenal, amongst the lowest 10 paid players at Arsenal, and his contract is expiring next year. So if Brentford tell him, listen, we are going to give you even 70,000 lower than at Arsenal, but we're going to offer you a 3-year deal, that's already more than what he's going to get paid at Arsenal. So he has to look at where, he has guaranteed money in terms of the next 3-4 years. By the time he gets to at least 34 years of age, he's getting as much money as he can before he retires. A proposal that could appeal to Ford given his age and current contract status. Exactly. Trossard is understood to be happy at Arsenal, but previously made it clear to Arteta that he would consider leaving if a deal too good to turn down landed on the table. This could be one of them. Brentford are bracing for the imminent departure of Visa, who has already informed the club's desire to leave. So yeah, they go on to say that Visa is going to leave, and Trossard is the option. And then the last paragraph, Arsenal remain open to keeping Trossard and have been in early discussions of a contract extension. His current deal runs until 2026, so we 100% confirm that his contract is expiring next year. I don't know what who was the guy? Was it Plettenberg? I don't know what Plettenberg was talking about, Trossard having 2 years remaining on his contract, because from what I've confirmed, everyone has been saying that he has 1 year remaining, and yeah, his contract is expiring next year. So either we sell him right now, or we give him a new contract, or we lose him for free next season. He played a useful role last season as Arsenal finished second in the Premier League and reached the Champions League semi-finals. I disagree with that. Really, last season, I don't think anyone really played well. But the previous 2 seasons, Trossard was really good. He had 17 goals. That's when he finished 2 seasons behind Man City, and he was scoring those crucial goals against FC Porto, against Bayern Munich, against Wolves, a 1-0 win at the end of that season as well. that previous season he came in January, he had 10 assists in like 3 months. So he was very good. I remember his goal against Liverpool as well 2 seasons ago. Arteta values Trossard experience and versatility, but he will not stand in the player's way if a satisfactory offer arrives. The former Brighton star knows this is likely his last big contract, and a 3-year proposal gives him exactly the kind of long-term security that Arsenal will not prepare to match. While he has no issues staying in North London, he's made it clear he's willing to assess serious offers. Trossard won't push to leave Arsenal, but should Brentford follow up their approach with the formal bid, things could accelerate. For now, the Belgian is expected to continue training with the Gunners, but both he and the club are keeping an open mind as the window enters its final week. So for Trossard, it's like a 50-50 situation, looks like. He might leave, he might stay. He wants to stay, but he's also open to leaving. Arsenal want to keep him, but Arsenal also open to letting him go. Arsenal offering him a new contract, but maybe Trossard is not really going to be happy with that. But at the same time, Trossard might be happy with that contract if another big one does not come in. So it's all over the place at the moment with Trossard. No one really knows if there's going to be here or not for next season. So let's just wait and see how it goes. For me, because we're not going to sign a left winger, I'm going to keep both of them. Not necessarily as starters. As of now, Martinelli is definitely not a starter. Trossard is definitely not a starter. If Eze was signed today, he's probably the one that starts for me on left wing in the first game. Madueke is now training with Arsenal today. Let's see where he's going to play. Is he going to play as a backup for Saka? Is he going to feature on the left side a few times? Let's hope that signing works, because we really need Madueke to come to Arsenal and perform, because if he comes to us and doesn't perform as much as we need him to perform, we're in a bit of trouble in terms of the winger situation. But if he comes to Arsenal, he's back today and he starts playing really well, then he's going to really, really help us. So let's hope that is the situation that we are in, right? We're going to find ourselves in. So we're still waiting to find out what's happening with players like Chris Nelson. There hasn't been any news on them today. Now, there's 3 players that we've already signed. There's news on the 3 players. Let's start with this one. Gyokeres. So Ghana blog had this to say about Gyokeres. Mikel Arteta recognizes that the acquisition of Viktor Gyökeres will necessitate a shift in style. Arsenal need to be more direct, more vertical, and since the resumption of training in July, Arteta has begun implementing this change. So again, a lot of people have been saying, it doesn't matter whether we sign Gyokeres, the way Arsenal is playing, we won't create enough chances for Gyokeres. We pass too much. This is just comments from different people, which I agree with some of them. Some people say Odegaard moves the ball too slow. Is Gyokeres going to get the pass as quick as he wants? Because at Sporting, sometimes you just one pass to Gyokeres straight away. There's a goal they scored against Man City last season, Sporting. I think it was like the first goal in the second half. I think it's the second goal of the game. Like 1-2 passes, Gyokeres is through. Like that is not how we play, though. We don't play 1-2 pass and then through to the striker. We usually go through Odegaard, go through the midfielder in Zubimendi, go through Saka, go through the left winger sometimes. But according to reports, we are going to change our style of play. So I think many people would be happy to hear that Arsenal is going to change their style of play. From some people are calling it boring. Last season it was not great at all, 100%. Some people want us to play as the 22-23 season where we were moving the ball so quickly, creating chance after chance. Some people prefer winning those games 4-2 instead of trying to win them 1-0. Arsenal need to be more direct. To give Gyokeres the chances, to play to his strengths, you need to give him through passes, in behind, let him run past the defender, all that. That is the kind of goals he used to score at Sporting. Now, we're going to play against low blocks most of the time, so he's not going to get those chances in behind. You're hoping that any chance that drop to him in that midfield, in that box, he ends up finishing them. That's what we're hoping for. But we also have to be very flexible in our style of play. We cannot play the way we played last season when you have Gyokeres as a striker. But Arteta can also argue that, Merino and Havertz were scoring a lot of goals. Havertz 2 seasons ago, he had 15 goals, and Havertz is not really a striker. And Merino last season, he was scoring a lot of goals, and he's not really a striker as well. So that's why in my head, I'm like, there's no way Gyokeres is going to fail at Arsenal. If Merino and Havertz were able to get that many goals the last 2 seasons, Gyokeres is going to get a lot more. So Merino was getting chances. Havertz was getting a lot of chances in the center forward position without, having to make runs in behind and all of that. But let's be flexible. Let's give Gyokeres at the best, the best system to make him score as many goals as possible. I don't want us to be finishing what I don't want us to have or go through. I don't want us to go through games where Gyökeres is getting 0 chances. That one I don't want to happen. That would be a bit scary if we are finishing a game without Gyökeres having a chance at all. No, let's create at least a couple of chances for Gyökeres every single game, especially those games that you're playing at home. No disrespect to these teams, but you're playing at home to Sunderland, to Burnley, to who else? Leeds United, to West Ham, to Everton, those teams that you struggle with. When you're playing at home to those teams, you're hoping that Gyökeres can get 3 or 4 chances. When you watch Man City playing against Burnley or playing against Sheffield or playing against Everton, Haaland usually has like 6 shots or 7 shots in a game. That is what I want Gyökeres to have. All over the place. However many chances he's going to have, you're hoping that he gets at least 5 chances in games like that. And then whether they're going to be on target or off target, now that is up to Gyökeres. But let's not have situations where Gyökeres is not getting chances. Let's have situations where he's getting 4 or 5 chances in a game, and then he can score from them. So that is great to hear that in training, we've been, changing a few things to make sure that he gets more chances, more vertical. And since the resumption of training in July, Atta began implementing this change. Let's hope that is the case. And let's hope Gyökeres shines. We have a game on Wednesday, so let's hope we get to see Gyökeres starting for a start. I need to see Gyökeres starting. Have you seen people's reaction to Gyökeres playing 30 minutes? I cannot wait for him to play. They've been waiting. People hate the fact that Gyökeres has joined Arsenal. People are not happy with Gyökeres joining us. They're not used to Arsenal getting a player like Gyökeres. So Gyökeres comes on the pitch for 10 minutes and people say, Gyökeres, look at him. He's already lost to Tottenham. In 10 minutes, he didn't do anything. Premier League teams are difficult. This is not the Sporting League. We will see about that. In my head, he's definitely going to get 25 plus goals. So I cannot wait for him to get started. And then we'll hear what those people will say. But let's give him the best scenario for him to succeed. That is Gyökeres. Now, what's the latest on Noni Madueke? According to Ghana Blog, the Arsenal players, including new signing Noni Madueke, will report back to London Colney on Monday, which is today. So we're waiting to see the training pictures. The players, I think, arrived back in London maybe Friday, and then they were given the weekend off. Now, Madueke, after playing the Club World Cup, everyone else has been on holiday. Teams like Chelsea, I've not heard about Chelsea for like a month. They've been on a good holiday for like the last 1 month. I don't know how ready they're going to be for the Premier League season. But Madueke has also been on holiday because it was the Club World Cup. Now, it wasn't great for us because now we didn't have Gyökeres for a couple of those preseason games. We didn't have Madueke for those preseason games. So basically the forward players that we've signed, we've never not really seen them. So we've just been using the same forward line with Havertz up front and Martinelli on the left, the same one that has been playing the last couple of seasons. The only new thing that we've seen, the only new player that you've seen is Max Daumann on the right side. Now, Madueke is back in training today. Really hope that he hits the ground running. I really do feel that we need some energy, man. We need some energy on those wings, especially if we decide to use him on the left. I think we need a lot of energy. So let's hope he hits the ground running as well. He does have the Premier League experience. We signed him for a lot of money, obviously. The signing wasn't met with positive remarks, but let's hope, by the time we get to September, October, people are like, wow, Madueke is actually proving everyone wrong. So far, so good. Let's hope he hits the ground running. But he's back in training today, according to Ghana Blog. So that is the first step. Let's wait and see how he does. That's the second update on the player that we've already signed. Now, Zubimendi. What's the latest on Zubimendi? Did I save it? I don't even know if I saved it. Let me confirm that. Zubimendi. Oh, yes, I did. So this is Zubimendi. Ghana Blog says, although Martín Zubimendi naturally gravitates to Mikel Merino, he has impressed with his efforts to integrate and speak English. Zubimendi has a good grasp of the language and continues to take 2 lessons a day. So to be our midfield, general in that midfield, we're going to need him to do everything that he can to help us out. For me, no worries with Zubimendi. I think he's definitely going to be a good player. He's definitely going to adapt for us in that midfield. I mean, you haven't even really seen him that much as well. He's been coming on for 45 minutes. I think a couple of times he's been subbed on, and you haven't really even seen him playing next to Declan Rice and Odegaard together. No, he's been playing. it's been mixed up. He's been playing with Merino a few times and a couple of different players here and there. So let's hope that he hits the ground running as well. Let's hope he does hit the ground running as well. So there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys on Andrea Berta. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see Andrea Berta. Let's see Andrea Berta. Where is Andrea Berta? Okay, this from James Ollie. So James Ollie had this to say about Andrea Berta. He says that some senior figures at Arsenal joke that Andrea Berta never seems to sleep. His work ethic has surprised even those who are already impressed with his body of work. So let's hope that energy stays high this transfer window, the rest of the August before the transfer window closes, because we definitely need Eze over the line. I don't know if that is going to be the last signing, or are we going to pull off the Jacquet signing as well? Are we going to sign another 8th player or something? And then obviously in terms of sales, we haven't really been quick on that. Maybe they want to just sign players fast. We're still waiting to see what's the latest with Reis, the latest on Fabio Vieira. Is Zinchenko going to stay? Is he going to leave as well? And then the players that you've talked about in Trossard, Martinelli, you have to decide soon. And then there's Karl Hein as well. There's Albert Sambi Lokonga as well. All of those players. So let's see how it goes. So that's the latest today. What has happened over the weekend. There wasn't any videos over the weekend, but that is everything that took place over the weekend. Eze, Jacquet, Kiwior, Rodrygo, Martinelli, Trossard, Gyokeres, Madueke, and Zubimendi. I almost said Albert Sambi Zubimendi. Jesus Christ, that's diabolical. Albert Sambi Zubimendi. I don't know. It's because I was just talking about Lokonga. No, we are hoping Zubimendi is better than that. Let me come to you guys' comments now. Thank you for watching. I've talked for 41 minutes without reading the comments, so there was a lot of news to get through because there wasn't any videos over the weekend. Mubarak says, Mr. Glenn, big up, sir. While for me, I think in terms of defensive, Arsenal is not bad, but Arsenal still need midfield in caliber of Bruno Guimaraes. Caliber of Bruno Guimaraes, I wouldn't mind him, but you're not going to get Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. Are you seeing how Newcastle is in terms of selling Isaac? I've seen Isaac is back at Newcastle today to have a meeting. Newcastle probably not going to sell him. Newcastle are very tough in terms of selling players. You're going to have to pay like 110 million for Bruno Guimaraes. Personally, I don't think midfield is our problem. I think Nørgaard has been one of our best players so far in preseason. He's very Premier League experienced as well. He's a player who can handle the pressure. He's been playing every single game for Brentford, and I think Zubimendi will be absolutely fine. We've basically let 2 players go, and we've brought in 2 players. I personally don't think midfield is our problem. I think our problem is the winger position. An extra attacking option like Eze, and defensively we have a problem because of the injuries. Mubarak, in terms of quality of players, we don't have a problem, but in terms of injuries, at the moment, Gabriel, Timber, Calafiori, they're all injured, so that is our problem, injuries. Now, that makes me remember we've just released a new kit today, and this kit is absolutely amazing, man. Look at that. What are you guys rating this out of 10? This kit out of 10, what are you giving it out of 10? Because this is absolutely amazing, man. This reminds me of the Walcott and Fabregas days. I think it was 2007, 2008. But this is better than that one, actually. This one is really good, man. This is absolutely amazing. For me, it's like a solid 9 out of 10. I think this is absolutely fantastic. And hopefully we wear it a lot next season. The previous season, the pink kit, we wore it like 3 times the whole season. I think next season we're probably going to wear this away at West Ham, probably away at Aston Villa. Those 2 for sure. I think we're definitely going to wear it away at Burnley as well. Maybe Man United as well. So that's already 4 games. Liverpool, maybe we're going to wear this one or the blue one, whichever, at Liverpool. But there's at least like 4 games there that have counted that you're definitely going to wear this, like West Ham and Burnley away. But let's see. That's absolutely amazing. That kit is terrific. My striker, Sam, leaving Northampton 2026 next season, end season. I don't know who that is. If he's a good striker, maybe you can go for him. Let's see. Northampton, though, I don't think Arsenal are going to be signing players from Northampton. Let's see. Arsenal should wrap up this deal as soon as possible, says Prince. Let's see. I can only see Eze and Noni to help us whenever we play low block teams. Yeah, and transitioning as well. Whenever we try to counter-attack teams, they're very slow. I think Madueke and Eze would 100% help with that. And breaking down low blocks, Eze for sure definitely help with that. Let's see with Madueke if he's able to do that. I mean, at least he can dribble past a player. That is something that Madueke can do. So let's hope he can do that consistently. But I see one of his qualities as breaking down low block teams. Even though I don't really like the signing of Noni, I see one of his qualities as breaking down teams, says Hassan. Fair enough. Raka says, good job so far. RK says, please subscribe and smash the like button. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you for being a member. Let's see. We should not delay too much in finalizing this deal, says Wisdom. Arsenal need to get Eze because we are not good at left wing, and also Eze can play as a number 10 for Odegaard. In defense, we are okay. We appreciate your updates. Glenn says, Mui. We must get Eze to make our squad much better, says Stevia. I think if you don't sign anyone else right now, we've left ourselves short. We have to get someone like an Eze for sure. Emerson says you have forgotten that Crystal Palace have to pay QPR 20% as their cut if we sign him. I heard that because they signed him from QPR. I'm not sure about the percentage, but yeah, they probably have a sell-on clause there, but I'm not sure about the percentage. But yeah, if they have to pay him 20%, they have to get as much money as they can. So that is the situation with Gyokeres as well. So the money that is going to Sporting is not all going to Sporting. They have to pay Coventry something. I think something also had to go to Brighton, and Brighton was like his fourth team before that or something, but money is usually going to those teams still as well. They all have like sell-on clauses. Let's see. Good evening, Mr. Glenn, watching from South Sudan. Thank you, Macaire. It's like Kiwior will leave if we get Jacquet, says Steve. I don't know, because it doesn't look like Jacquet would start playing like right now. It seems like you'd like go out on loan. So I do think we're going to keep Kiwior. Good evening. Any update on Jesus? Not to date. We don't have any update on Jesus. Bobo, we can't. Why can't Arsenal go for Lookman or Rafa Leao? Inter Milan are trying to sign Lookman. Lookman has handed in a transfer request, an official transfer request. I don't know if Arsenal really like Lookman, though. For me, I would take Lookman, but I don't know if Arsenal really like Lookman or Leao. I think for Lookman and Leao, they could be like fourth or fifth or even lower than that on Arsenal's list. I think at the beginning of the transfer window, if you had to ask Arsenal which weakers, they wanted, they would say players like Nico Williams and players like Gordon and players like Rodrygo. All of those players were high on Arsenal's list. Arike says that is a 10 out of 10 kid. Same with Mary. Close to that, man. For me, it's like a 9.5, but I think it's almost perfect for sure. I love Martinelli. Is a great player for me, says Sunny. It really does need to improve, though. Is out of all the players in preseason, you're the one that let me down the most. Let's see. Chancellor says we must take a trophy by all means. Odegaard has to step up. Yep, not just Odegaard. Odegaard had a terrible season last year. But him, Trossard, if he stays, Martinelli, if he stays, there's a lot of players. Last season, there's a few players who are really good. I mean, Saka was good at the first half of the season and then he got injured. But there's players who are really good, like Gabriel, Declan Rice. Those ones are really, really good last season. Timber as well. But in terms of the forward line, apart from Saka, the first half of the season, I don't think anyone had a great season. And they should keep all the players and add more, mainly that Martinelli side, says Solomon. I agree as well. I would keep all of them and then add someone else. Alhaji says, good afternoon. I'm watching you from Sierra Leone. We need to get Eze in Arsenal. Thank you, Alhaji, for the comment as always. Yeah, we definitely need to get Eze. And there's no other player that we've been linked to on that side as well. So it's just Eze or probably nobody. So let's make sure we get him. So Tottenham is one to watch out for. As discussed at the beginning, Tottenham now have Maddison injured, and they've also sold Son. So they have a gap there. And Eze fits that as well. He can play on the left wing where Son used to play, and he can play the Maddison role. Arsenal must sign a number 10, number 11, and give Daman and Noni game time. From Zimbabwe, says Peniel. Daman, it's going to be interesting to see whether he's going to play in the Premier League games. that would be very interesting. Nwaneri did play once when he was 15 against Brentford, but yeah, let's see how much game time they're going to get. I think Nwaneri got a lot of game time last season anyway, despite not playing a lot at the end of last season. But let's hope we do use them a lot, because both of them are really good, man. Like, the most confident I felt in that Tottenham game was when Dauman came on. I felt like, okay, we can do something now, which is crazy. Joseph is watching live from Kenya. Thank you. I'll be happy if Arsenal, if Eze goes to Arsenal, says Moses. Watching from Liberia, says Emmanuel. Cooper as well is watching from Liberia. Sheldon says, I just pressed the like button, it danced. Yeah, the magic of YouTube, the magic of YouTube. Maybe all of you can try that as well. Hit the like button and see it dancing. So we have a game on Wednesday. That's all the latest transfer news for today. We've gone through everything that's happened this weekend. We'll have a couple of more videos, including the preview for that game against we are playing Villarreal, right? And then Bilbao on the weekend, yeah, because I know Bilbao is playing Liverpool today, so I can't play them on Wednesday. So, yeah, Villarreal and then Bilbao, and then 1 week until we play against Man United. Not going to be an easy game. Let's hope that we are ready before then. We might even see this kid in that first game, actually. Just remembered we are playing them first game. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.